Hey Ravens, welcome back to Tarot Tuesday. This is for the week starting August 13th, 2019. Um, well, we're moving past the big energy of the weekend. Like I told you last week, Sunday was the big day for during, wow, say it all at once. Jupiter direct, Uranus retrograde, and the move of Mercury into Leo. A lot of big stuff going on Sunday. And so, last week's reading was all about preparing you for it. This week's reading is sort of about like dealing with the aftermath, but it is also about another big Leonine aspect that's coming up with in Leo, which is strength. We have the Sun conjunct Venus, the Empress. And so, a great inner fire of creativity is about to burst forth. A deep reservoir of generative strength. This is a good week for making things, a good week for bringing things into being. On a physical level, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level. This is just generally a really friendly aspect. Although neither of the signs that Venus rules are fire signs, Venus does very well in fire signs because it's about passion and energy and creativity, especially as the Empress. And with the Sun in its home sign of Leo, this is, magnified to the extreme. So this is going to be a very, very creative week in one respect or another for everybody. Let's see if we can figure out what specific ways y'all can expect to see your creativity become manifest. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean creativity in the artistic sense. It could just be bringing stuff into being. This might also be a really good week for, manifestation or, starting new projects or, that sort of thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, I feel the urge to paint or write poetry. Although those are great things and you may experience that. It's not going to be that way for everyone. For some people, it might be creative in a much more physical sense because Venus is good for that too. So, as with all things, mind yourself around an open flame. You might get burned. All right, so what do we need to do with the energy of the Sun conjunct Venus? Yes, I know I promised y'all a video about what's going on with this. It's coming. Mostly I need to have the wherewithal to do. That's life. So, for Leo, the Two of Pentacles. Put the deck down real quick. Two of Pentacles. To me, this is an interesting card because for you, Leo, it seems as though rather than having one thing to focus on, you're going to be asked to split your time and your energy between two. You're going to have to find balance or strike one between things that you feel energized and motivated to do and to focus on. So you're going to be busy this week, but it's a good busy. It's a productive busy. It's as with all things, related to the Pentacles, it is abundance and it's beauty too, like the butterfly. A good week for you, Leo, although you will be working hard. For Virgo, yes, we have Temperance. Now, remember what I said a minute ago about how you have to mind yourself around an open flame or else it will burn you. That is your lesson for this week, Virgo. That is what you need to be mindful of as we get into, this Sun-Venus aspect. caution, patience, discipline. Also balance, but not in the same, excuse me, not in the same way as Leo has to. For you, this is more about a balance of energies than a balance of projects. You're going to have to temper whatever passions it is that Venus riles up in you, whether those are joyful or angry or what have you. Just be cognizant of those energies flowing through you and try not to give in too much to any one of them in particular. For Libra, we have the Lovers. A fantastic card, I think, for you, Libra. Especially if you've been out of the game a little bit lately, so to speak. Again, going back to things that I've said about, earlier in the reading, Venus is the goddess of beauty and the goddess of love, and those are both things that are very endemic to this card. Now, does it necessarily have to be like a romantic partner? No, I don't think so. But your relationships are definitely going to be the thing around which you feel the most energized and creative. Maybe that means that you develop existing friendships into something stronger, or make new friends. Maybe there is a new romantic partner on the horizon. With all this energy and the Lovers, it could be anything, but it definitely has to do with the way that you connect to somebody else, whether that's one person in particular or a whole group, is for you to tell me in the comments, I guess. With Scorpio, we have the Mother of Pentacles. Still not used to this webcam camera. Sorry, guys. The Mother of Pentacles for Scorpio, or the Queen of Pentacles, if you like. And with the Mother of Pentacles, your focus this week, Scorpio, is or should be on generating some physical stability for yourself. Gathering your world around you in the way that you want it. You'll certainly have a lot of easy access to energies that will help you to do that. At least if this card is to be believed. With the Mother of Pentacles, you just be careful of the just so attitude. Everything must be just so. Perfection is a pursuit, but it is also an ideal. And you need to not forget both of those things. You don't want to come across as overzealous or overbearing or overly maternal or paternal. All things which are very easy to do when there's so much energy behind that card. For Sagittarius, we have the Ace of Pentacles. A wealth of new ideas, it seems, will spring to you, at least as far as your material circumstances are concerned, Sagittarius. This is a great card for thinking of new ways to find, physical security, whether that's financial or, the needs of the body, food, water, other things. But also, potential new growth too. So like, you're going to for some reason, I also get the vibe from this card suggests this is going to be a week in which you discover things about yourself you didn't already know. I don't know why that is. It's just a feeling that I have. For Capricorn, the Three of Cups. Look to your friendships this week, Capricorn. Um, get together with your friends and have a drink. Not necessarily an alcoholic beverage, although I personally am partial. That's up to you. But just the Three of Cups is always, to me, it's just a very joyful, if not lively. I mean, you can see this is kind of a subdued way of drawing this card, but a very joyful, coming together of friends nonetheless. So gather your friends around you this week, and just kind of revel in what you've built with these people, and reinforce it a little. Take this time to shore it up. Aspects of Venus are usually favorable to social gatherings, and try as you might, Capricorn, you're no exception to the fact that human beings are social animals. Now, that's not to say that you're the worst at that, but for Aquarius, we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a really great card for you, Aquarius. A lot of energy. The wheel finally spinning, the wheel of fate finally spinning the way you want it to, and doing so very quickly. The image I'm getting is of Scooby-Doo trying to run. If you ever watch old Scooby-Doo cartoons, and you see like the big wheel of his legs moving, and then he takes off. That's this card. Just a whole lot of momentum and a lot of steam being gathered for a really strong rush forwards. I don't know if this is the week where you take the rush forwards, but I do know that this is the week the wheel starts spinning for it. So buckle up and get ready for the ride of your life. That might be a little extreme, but buckle up anyway. Good things are on their way to you, and they will come very, very rapidly, even if they don't necessarily come this week. I always have trouble with this one. This is the Ten of Wands for Pisces. And for me, as for some others, I actually owe a great deal to Michelle, who used to be my partner in crime over at Blessings from Vanheim. For the interpretation of this card is the burden of success. This is the card that shows you what it means to get what you want, the dark side of joy and success. Well, dark, that's kind of a really bleak way of phrasing it. Suffice to say, though, Pisces, that for you, this card indicates having to follow through on what you wanted and what you've been working towards. You get it, but now you see what comes with it. Now, because of how favorable this aspect is, that's not to say that it's all bad, but, for whatever reason from this card, I'm getting the feeling that I should counsel you about, like, the exact vibe I'm getting is to not bitch about the things you wanted. The you asked for this, so deal with it kind of thing. I don't like to be that mean unless it's called for, but apparently this card wants to be. So you asked for this, quit your bitching is kind of what the Ten of Wands is trying to tell you for this week. Now, that's not to say that you can't enjoy it, because you can. Just, remember that, a penchant for reliability is a penchant for reliability. For Aries, we have the Five of Swords. And, I really can't pretend to be a fan of this card. I mean, the artwork is great, but, let's be real, Aries. As the sign with the penchant for, biting off more than we can chew and picking fights with stuff that's bigger and stronger than us, This card indicates that, I mean, look, you've cut the worm in half, right? It's a fight that's won in a way that sort of precludes any, well, there's no good outcome for the worm in this. So, like, it's a fight that you win, but like at what cost? You know, it's the other person or the other side of this energy is. This is hard to read. Oh, okay. So no, this is more of a warning, Aries, is to, as you pursue this glow up, if I might be forgiven for borrowing Generation Z's lingo, don't do things in an effort to, come out on top that will preclude other people from joining you at the mountaintop. There are people around you who you have both more to give to and more to get from. And if you're not careful with the energies of this week, you may wind up alienating more people than you find willing to come along for the ride with you. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. For Taurus, we have the Seven of Swords, the card of Thieves. The Fox's one watchful eye always gets me. Every single time I look at this card, that one watchful eye always gets me. There's a lot of suspicious energy around this card. Like, the feeling of suspicion of, sleeping with one eye open and a knife or a gun or whatever under your pillow. And you don't need to wait for the other shoe to drop, Taurus. You don't need to wait around for something to happen where the good luck the way you feel about it, the good luck that you're experiencing now is gonna, fall out from underneath your feet and turn to ashes in your mouth and become bad luck in a way that completely ruins the good things. Remember that Venus rules your sign. This is a week in which, not you in particular, but among the particular people, you're protected, Taurus, and you don't need to worry so much about when am I going to have to pay for this? When am I going to have to pay for this? When am I going to have to pay for this? You don't have to pay for this. You earned this. It was a long time in coming. Don't do yourself the disservice of selling yourself short because karma's not an exact science. And you have to earn bad things for bad things to happen to you. So don't worry so much. Relax. Enjoy this. Whatever this ends up being for you, enjoy it. For Gemini, the Six of Wands, victory and triumph. This is a really good week for you too, which is no surprise, really. Gemini and Leo are favorable to each other at the angle that they sit at because it's a sextile and it's, the angle of alignments and getting things done and just generally good stuff. And so it's really no surprise to me, Gemini, that a victory card comes up for you. But this is for you. It changes the energy of the aspect, because it's not so much for you about the bright light emanating forth like anew, as though you were starting some new big project or developing some new level of creative energy and expression. This is more like having been working to start a fire and seeing the first, like, you've already been doing the work. Now you're getting the rewards. The rewards are what glow bright for you. This is victory. You've lit the fire, and now there's heat and light and warmth. The fire is not just exploding outwards from you. You worked to build it. Now you get to reap the rewards. And last, but most certainly not least, is our friends in Cancer. And we have the Sun, or Knight of Cups. The water, like not the water bearer in the sense that Aquarius is, but one bearing a cup, therefore one bearing water. This is a week for you where the slow approach pays off, Cancer. I mean, if you have a full cup and you try to run with it, it'll slosh everywhere. You have to walk. Unless you're really talented, I guess. But more than that, though, as the Knight of Cups, you're chosen to be the bearer of that cup, and so it's the slow approach is the best one this week. You'll find that the things that you do the diligence, make the effort, take the time, do the best, but you'll also tend to find that for some reason I get the feeling from this card that it's something that you're chosen to do, something that you're picked to do, not something necessarily that you choose to do yourself, although you may have. You may have chosen to try to get whatever honor or duty or responsibility that this card entails, but you get it. It's given to you. And so as much as you will do better by default if you take the slow approach, you also have sort of like a duty to take the slow approach, to do it the right way, because you're doing this for somebody else. Even though it also will be of benefit to you. So, that's Tarot Tuesday for this week. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And unless something else comes up first, I will see you next week.